When did time start? Do we have free will? And is the 30% surge in Bitcoin in April for real? Well, we've got a Bitcoin alert with the chart master, Carter Worth of Cornerstone Macro, who's got the answer to one of those questions. I wonder which one, Carter.
Well, I'm not sure I have the answer, but let's try to see if we can figure out possibly the answer. A lot of fun, obviously the most dynamic thing in all markets, and it's both ruined people and made people great fortunes. But here is a chart for the past 4 or 5 years, and I want to sort of zero in on this volatility now. But let's put in the trend lines, put in the percentage declines, and so forth. So what we have here, again, is every drawdown of import over the past 3-4 years. And you see the numbers. I mean, down 36, down 41, 21, down 38. And this one's the most extreme, down 70. But if you go back, we had 2 declines that were in the 90 percentile category in 13, 14. But so now, if we put in the trend line, get rid of these percentage drawdowns, what we have is the following. A well-defined moment of big movement, meaning when you have lower highs and higher lows, it represents equilibrium. And there's a debate. Some love this thing, and some think it's, of course, the greatest fraud of all time. But this is going to get resolved violently. And if we triangulate a little more, let me just zero into the here and now. This is the thing that's important. When it made its low on Feb 6, the market, of course, made its low on Feb 9th, we revisited that low and we held. And so now if I put the wedge back in this tight formation, here we've actually, for the first time, and this is quite precise, right? We literally touched that line to the penny, to the penny, to the penny, again and again. I mean, right off the lines, it's all technical. And then for the first time, we have come out through the top. I think there's more to go. So if you had to be long or short, I want to be long here.
Carter comes over.
Wow.
Come on over, Carter. Ryan will bring it to you.
For 08, just sit there and just
sit there
around.
Like squat. You're squatter.
He's got his summer coat on, too.
Looks kind of linen-y, silky maybe. Okay, so Carter, in your initial chart, you showed all of the drawdown. Does it matter that earlier in Bitcoin's history, the liquidity was so much smaller, the market cap was so much smaller than what it is today?
Obviously, the stakes are higher now, right? At one point, it was an unknown thing, and just sort of a few people playing. Now it's considered an asset to some people, right? Other people think, again, it's a fraud or a Ponzi scheme or nothing. But what we do know is that if it were really going to top here, we would be forming the other side of a shoulder. Typically, you get head and shoulders up. And that's not what that pattern suggests. And the day-to-day strength in the face of market weakness is sort of interesting as well.
So, Carter, when I look at the S&P, I could draw...
Exact same wedge.
Exactly. Sure. I could draw the same wedge.
Right.
And do you have to believe that the S&P is moving in the same direction with Bitcoin leading? It looks like...
No. It's funny.
Are they both moving higher?
No. I'm in the lower camp for equities. And just to speak of that, let's take the big tech names. We've just heard from all of them, and we're nowhere near the highs of the NASDAQ 100. If your big players just put up points and you can't move the scoreboard, what's going to move the NASDAQ 100?
Nice metaphor.
So basically, for all the people who say that Bitcoin is some sort of leading indicator for the markets or an indicator for the markets, do you think that's just
I guess I suppose don't have any really accurate way to respond to that, other than it seems like a stretch.
Now, talk to us about past bubbles, if you will, and how bubbles have behaved. Like, if you take a look at the internet bubble, where would we be if this were a bubble?
Oh, sure. Well, if you were to look at
dead cat bounces.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
In terms of the run-up, the run-up from the low in NASDAQ to the high is multiple folds over what the NASDAQ was, or the Japanese market at the height of its thing. So this is unprecedented, right? You can look at any other asset. There is maybe the tulip bulb, but that data is pretty unclear. You know, people say, well, I have it right here in my file. Really? You have all the tulip bulb data? So the issue is this. This is a sort of uncharted territory, right? And then I would just say that it's acting well where you would suspect that it wouldn't.
Can you also do technical analysis? And if you can, is it similar to what you found for Bitcoin for other current cryptocurrencies out there, like an Ethereum, or is the data too sparse still?
No, it's the same. They're identical. I mean, for the most part, yes.
So all of them look like they're poised to break to the upside.
I mean, but this is the one that's going to matter.
Hey, so Carter, you know, the sell-off from the highs down to the February lows about 70%. It was on massive volume. So then you had this 100% bounce, but then we went back and we did that test, like you just mentioned.
We held it.
In some ways, couldn't you make the argument, although we're above that downtrend from December, that this bounce is actually not that vibrant? And you know what I mean? Like it's just, it doesn't have a lot of momentum. It doesn't feel like.
What gives you the dynamics of a bounce is determined by the preceding sell-off. So if you think about it, you get the first violent sell-off, and then you get a fairly reciprocal bounce. But when you do a revisit of the low, because you come from a lower level, you don't have as much of a bounce. Momentum. I mean, it's almost, sort of the way momentum or a ball.
Yeah.
Drop a ball from a lower level, doesn't bounce as much as it does from a higher level.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.